Look, it's pretty obvious that you clicked on this video because you're struggling on defense right now in College Football 26. But don't worry, because by the end of this video, I'm going to give you 4 tips that will completely overhaul your defense and have you locking down in your next game. Let's jump right into it. Alright, so first we're going to be breaking down a coverage that's going to work regardless of your play style, skill level, or the playbook that you're in. Let's jump right into it. Alright, so I'm going to be controlling the Tennessee Volunteers here, but you can do this out of any team. Every playbook in this game is going to have this defense, and I'm going to show you, okay? So really what I want to first show you is a cover 2 defense, okay? So you're going to come into your audibles, and then I would just put cover 3 cloud in my audibles. That's the play that we're going to be breaking down. But first, I want to show you a cover 2 and why a cover 2 is sometimes, obviously we know this, but you know, for those of y'all that don't know, why cover 2 can be risky, okay? Let's just say you use the middle linebacker here, all right? And they call a play like this. And so really they just have a post route on the field. Let's say they motion their tight end across the field too. And so now that he's going to run a streak, and you're going to be able to see if they can get time in the pocket, they're going, oh my, I mean, just perfect defense, I guess. But more or less, you're going to see how it's a split field, right? These safeties are going to drop. Boom. Let's start here. Boom. He drops out. He dropped out, okay? And so what does that leave? All this space right here down the middle of the field, okay? You get some more time to throw. You can see how this post is breaking wide open for a touchdown in the middle of the field, okay? So we know this, but also, that's not the only thing that a cover 2 struggles in. Because if we basically put a C route on the field and then we call a flood concept, right? Something like this, you're going to see how cover 2 is going to struggle against this, because this cloud flat defender is going to be caught in what we call no man's land, where he's not actually guarding anything, or he has to pick one or the other, okay? So cover 2 is going to have its weaknesses, have its struggles, but obviously you can adjust your defense to make it better. Now, you're going to say, Bill T, I'm not good with quick adjustments. I don't have a good user. Well, first you should learn to have a good user, something I'll talk about in future videos. But come into cover 3 cloud, a cover 3 cloud defense, okay? Now you're going to see how this alleviates a lot of our weaknesses, okay? Because now if they go ahead and call this same bunch trail play, motion the tight end over, right? And so they're going to call the same play, you're going to notice how this middle of the field is now closed off. So now there's going to be an inside third coming from the same position where your deep half was, right? So this, honestly, look at the picture. This is cover 2 right here, okay? I audible to a cover 3 cloud. This looks honestly more like a cover 2 than even cover 2 does. So they're going to think to themselves, oh wait, I'm just going to attack this like it's a regular cover 2, but now the middle of the field's closed off. All right, so now you can just, throw. They can't throw their post. You're going to be sitting right here in the middle of the field for a lockdown defense to close off that area, okay? But you're going to say, BLT, same problem as last time. No, because now if they try to call this same flood concept, now you can put a hard flat on the field, okay? You're in cover 3 cloud. Now you can put a hard flat, and you're going to be able to have an outside third now that's going to stop or do a great job of stopping that C route. So boom, hard flat, and now when they try to throw that C route, we have a defender sitting right there on the sideline. So honestly, cover 3 cloud allows you to kind of mix and match your coverage pretty easily. It's like a dream coverage. I used to like hot route my defense and quick adjust my defense to be in cover 3 cloud before I realized that there's literally a coverage already in this game that you can literally just audible to, and it does everything for you. Okay, and obviously it's not just against flood concepts or post routes, right? If they call a play like verticals, you're still going to have a good user over the middle of the field, but you can see how this is going to be a good defense for stopping the middle of the field, stopping those flood concepts, and honestly just allows you to just focus on what's really important on defense, which is having a good user. And you're able to see that's exactly what happens, and we're able to get the quarterback on the ground. So start using more cover 3 cloud if you want to play good defense but don't want to make a lot of adjustment. All right, this is the most common question that I get in every comment section. It's, BLT, what are the best defensive settings that I need to be using? Let me show you. All right, when I talk about the best defense settings, a lot of this stuff is going to be universal for every single playbook that you use, for every single offense that you play against, okay? So we're gonna come into cornerback matchups. Make sure this is on balance. I'm gonna show you in a second why you have to make sure this is on balance every single time if you're running zone coverage, okay? Defensive motion response, I just have this on disabled. This isn't really that important, I'm gonna be honest. It really doesn't even work on disabled, but hey, we like to try. But anyway, you're gonna put your RPO pass key on conservative so that you can focus on the pass coverage on RPOs, okay? You wanna leave the run to your user, so really their con here isn't even really a con, okay? So really, you're gonna come down to your curl flats now. Your zone drops are going to depend on the situation that you're in on defense, what play the offense is probably gonna call, and what play you're calling. But normally, if you just wanna set it and don't worry about it, okay, because it's very specific and changes a lot based on, like I said, the situations in the game, just set it on curl flats on 5 and leave it, okay? That's just a pretty good universal way to play defense. Now, this is very important. Every game, you want to make sure you have your safety depth on close with your safety width on pinch, okay? This is going to walk your safety close to the line of scrimmage. So I'm going to come into cover 2 right here. Okay, and you're going to see how close these guys are. Honestly, you might confuse some people just because, like, the old way to read defenses, if the safeties are super close to the line of scrimmage, it's cover 0. Well, now that's not really the case because everyone can just use safety depth and close. But if they take the snap, we run cover 2, and they try to throw this pass up the seam, I cannot stand this game, bro. It's like you do everything right and the game just still punishes you, okay? You have a guy sitting right here, and this is what's going to happen for you a lot of time. This guy's sitting right here. He's in a perfect position. He's super close to the line of scrimmage already. So when they try to hike throw a seam, hopefully for you, the ball just doesn't go right through your hands. But you can see how that's perfect textbook defense to stop a seam pass, okay? You also see if we try again with the running back this time, you're going to see how you're going to try to look up the seam, and you're going to have a linebacker and your safeties right there to stop those passes. So that's your safety depth and your width, your safety alignment. You want these guys closer to the line of scrimmage, and you're going to say, BLT, well, they can just throw dots over the top because your safeties are so close. That's only if you're playing against LSU and their receivers are super fast, okay? You come into this right here, and you're going to see how, I mean, like, that's perfect defense, okay? Because even though he's on a streak and your guy's closer to the line of scrimmage, it doesn't matter. He's still able to drop back here, get to the spot, and actually take this away. So safety alignment, just make sure you have pinch close on. It's going to do you absolute dividends and be very useful for you, okay? But I did tell you to make sure you have your cornerback matchups unbalanced, okay? And if you don't listen to me and you skip this part of the video, or you just don't listen to me at all, right, this is what's going to happen to your defense. Your guys are going to try to be aligning, like, so they're going to no huddle, and then your guys are going to be scrambling, right? So if you have it on by speed, your guys are going to be trying to match up in zone coverage based on speed. And the thing is, your zones aren't going to reflect that. So your defense ends up looking like this, and if the offense calls any regular good route combination, even like this, you're going to see how, I mean, look at that you just completely blow your coverage and have a wide open touchdown for them because of it, okay? The simple fix is make sure you have balance for your cornerback matchups every single play, and that will never happen, okay? Your defense will come out like this every single time, and you're going to be able to play pretty good pass defense because of that. So those are the best defense settings that you need to be using. All right, you're tired of feeling like the quarterback has all day to throw, but you also don't feel like when you blitz you can get home. Let me show you an organic way to get pressure on the quarterback. All right, so we're going to break down 2 things here with the organic pressure, okay? First, I'm going to show you a way to get pressure by only sending 2 people at the quarterback, okay? So what I'm going to show you first is if we look at this play and I drop my 2 defensive ends into zone, so you see how now I'm sending 2 people at the quarterback. What you're going to see is I'm sending my 2 interior defensive linemen, my D tackles, okay? I'm just going to use base protection, send 5 out. Okay, you're gonna see what's gonna happen is we're gonna get 2 double teams, right? So now the quarterback's going to pretty much have all day to throw, okay? Eventually he's gonna, break through and sack the quarterback, but that's a good, 8 to 10 seconds to throw the football, okay? And the reason is because when you send the 2 interior guys, you allow these guys to double team, okay? Okay, boom, double team, boom, double team. It's going to be pretty hard for them to shed double teams in this game, and so you just have to understand that, okay? Now, you don't have to send 4 people. I would normally recommend sending 4, but if you want to get extra guys into coverage, there's ways to, because think about it, if you have 9 guys in coverage versus 4 or 5 receivers, you have a huge advantage. And a lot of people don't even send 5 out, so it's really 9 against 4. So let me show you this. So this time, you're gonna send your 2 defensive ends. Let's just have you man up your defensive lineman right here. Okay, you're gonna man your defensive lineman up to the tight end. Then you're gonna man your other defensive tackle onto the running back. So now you're sending your 2 edge guys, right? Now you're gonna try to get the attention of the center right off the line. Okay, so I'm gonna send my running back out. So boom, I'm gonna stand right over the center, try to get his attention. And now you see how, well, really, I mean, like, he had an opportunity to win that rep. They still did a good job of double teaming, but he had an opportunity to get off the ball. Now, when you have, like, abilities like quick jump, you're going to allow this guy to get off the ball, and if he comes down and inside, like, and that's what allows the offensive lineman to double team right here. But if he just comes straight down, like, and rushes, he's going to get a one-on-one, okay? So this time, I'm going to actually change it up a little bit. This time, I'm going to blitz this guy, and I'm going to blitz a D-tackle, okay? So I'm going to man up the D-tackle onto this tight end, and then I'm going to man up my defensive end onto the running back. Obviously, you would want to play with your personnel a little bit better. You wouldn't want to blitz a guy with a star. You see the guy on the defensive line with a star under him. You would want to blitz him. But for the sake of showing you, I'm just going to leave it like this. Okay, you're still trying to get the attention of the center, but now you're sending 2 different guys from 2 different areas. Okay, and now you see that's kind of what I'm talking about, where he's able to actually get up into a position to win his one-on-one. Now, you're still sending 2 people, so it's kind of hard for me to actually showcase this because it's like, it's not going to be every time, right? It's not going to be every time, but I'm just saying if you do want to send 2 people, I wouldn't send 2 defensive tackles. I would send a defensive end at least, to at least give you a chance to get off the ball immediately. Like, if you have a bad pass rusher, or if you have a slow pass rusher, he's not going to be able to get up the field and get to the edge fast enough. And that's kind of what you're seeing right here. But he has an opportunity. You see how he's running straight into the lineman? If he just runs straight through and straight up the field and then tries to go around the lineman, he'll have an opportunity, okay? Didn't work at the greatest like I wanted it to right there, but I'm going to promise you guys, you try to do this in a game, you give yourself a good pass rusher, you send a D tackle, and you send a D end. Those are the only 2 guys you have to send. You give yourself a pretty good chance of getting pressure. But the second and a little bit more reliable way is to come in a nickel single mug or 3-3 single mug, right? Some version of it, and come into Tampa 2, okay? Hold the play call button, so hold X right here, and you're gonna come down to the Texas 4-man custom stunt, okay? You're gonna spread your defensive line by pressing D-pad to the left, and then you're going to press left stick up, and then you're going to press RB and the right stick up to pass commit, okay? So this is the custom stunt that we know about from the beginning of the year. Got patched a little bit, but it's since been buffed a little bit more just to make it even better for you, okay? Now, you're going to take this snap, you're going to call this stunt, and you see how that guy comes in completely free. That's very easy. That's the same 4-man rush that you were running before this video. The only difference is my guy came in free and your guy probably didn't, because he's in a regular pass rush angle. But here he's in a custom stunt, so he's going to be looping inside and completely confusing this tackle who was supposed to block him. 71, your matchup is the defensive end. Oh wait, he goes inside. I don't even see him. And then you're able to loop through. You're also able to see how the same thing happens pretty much on the other side, where you loop through, he gets double teamed essentially by the running back in the center, but I mean, it's both sides. So that's why the 4-man stunts are sometimes a little bit more reliable, just because, as far as pressure, because it's less likely that they get blocked when you do it off both sides, right? And it's not going to be every time. I never want to sell you guys a full stream that this blitz works every time. It doesn't. You're not going to walk in free every time. The reason why I say this is organic pressure is because this blitz is designed to collapse the pocket. Okay, that's what I would use it for. Because this time you're going to see I'm going to take the snap. Are we going to come in free again? Yes. But this blitz isn't going to come in every time. Sometimes they're going to block. Even if they block the running back, sometimes he's going to get chipped up, right? And when he gets chipped up, though, the pocket's collapsing, because you see what's going to happen is he's going to loop inside, and you see how when he meets this lineman, when he's already like in the backfield dang near, okay? So you're going to do a good job of just collapsing that pocket and forcing the quarterback to roll out, okay? But again, I never want to sell you guys a full stream. I want to give you the counter to this. Now, what the offense is going to try to do is they're going to notice that you're using custom stunts every play, and they're literally just going to take the snap and roll out. And you see how they can get out. I mean, like, you have a faster quarterback, you can literally pick up 10 yards if you literally just take the snap and roll out, okay? And so that's why introduce the two-man stunts. This is why they're in the game, okay? You're going to start using these two-man stunts. You're going to press D-pad to the left, you're going to press RB, and then you're going to use the, I would use the left exit two-man, okay? The left exit two, or you, actually no, use the left Texas two-man, so press A, okay? Spread the D line, you're going to use the left exit two-man, but now you see how you're still containing off of this right side. So you're going to use a stunt on the left side to hopefully get organic pressure, and you're going to contain the quarterback. So again, your pressure as far as walking in the backfield is going to be less likely than using the Texas four-man, but you see I get the attention of the center, and I still come in free that time. Okay, so I still come in, I still have the potential to come in free just because I get the attention of the center. He loops all the way around, the guard doesn't recognize him, he double teams, and then the running back just is scary, it doesn't step up to block him, and the quarterback's down on the ground from another four-man rush, okay? But you're also able to see, I'm going to show you this in a second, boom, contain, he's in a contain, so if the quarterback tries to roll out immediately, now you have him contained on that side. So again, left Texas two-man right here, okay? We're going to take the snap, and we're going to try to roll out immediately, and you can see how, boom, contained, okay? Custom stunts are so valuable to get you more organic pass rush. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is call the right stunt, and you're going to be able to get the best of both worlds with with organic pressure or by containing the quarterback, okay? So start using more custom stunts, the right custom stunts, into your defense, and watch your pressure rate skyrocket. All right, so you're never going to be able to play really good defense if you're giving up touchdowns when it gets tight, okay? Let me show you the best red zone defense. All right, so I guess technically the red zone would be considered anything inside the 20-yard line, right? But mainly what I'm talking about when I say red zone defense is goal-to-go situations, so inside the 10-yard line, okay? Because really when you're at the 20, in between the 20 and the 10, it's still regular offense from them. They're going to be running a lot of their regular concepts. They got them down the field, okay? But really it gets tight when you get into, like I said, those goal-to-go situations. So anytime I'm in a goal-to-go situation, I want to be in cover 2. Cover 2 is the best defense that you can possibly run down here in the red zone because it gives you great versatility. Now, I just showed you in the last segment how we can get organic pressure, and that would certainly help you down here, getting organic pressure, collapsing the pocket and the quarterback pretty well. That's going to do a great job of helping you out when you get this close to the end zone, okay? So really what you're going to see is you have full coverage capability too, because you have essentially 7 guys in coverage and you only have to cover less than 10 yards. So you can take your deep zones off the field if you want to, right? You can put these safeties in hook curls and have them stand at the goal line, man up their slot receiver if you want to, man up their tight end, and now you can see how I have full coverage capability and pretty much I can do whatever I want because now you see how 2 of their main targets are taken away, and you're going to say, Bill T, what if they just put a shriek? No one runs shrieks this close to the end zone, not very often, just because they understand that it's tight. Like, what's the point of having a shriek on the field? So you don't really get a lot of that. And so you're just going to be able to see, I'm just going to have them call a play, right? And you're going to be able to play pretty good pass defense because you're going to have your safeties essentially standing on the goal line. You're going to have your outside corners also standing on the goal line or dropping to the goal line-ish area, right, on the outside. And then you just have your user right here to take away like drag routes like this one, right? Or swing routes out of the backfield if they want to like check the ball down. But really, it's pretty easy, right? And then, like I said, you can change it up if you want to man this guy up, have this guy stand at the goal line, right? Getting good with quick adjustments always going to help you on defense, but then I can put him in a hard flat, and now you see I have a little bit better defense than I even did in the last play, right? We're going to have them call a different play here, and boom, I'm going to take this snap, and you can see how now I have even better defense as far as, I mean, I still have to use or something over the middle of the field, right? And let's just say it's the running back on this play, but boom, tight end's guarded. Boom, crosser's guarded because he's manned up. And then we have a safety just sitting here at the goal line in a hook zone to take away stuff over the middle of the field. Also, we have this guy cross-man. So it's going to be pretty tough for them to pass the ball down in the red zone when you run cover 2 because you have those hook zones in the field, and then you're able to, adjust your defense around that, okay? But I'm not done with just this part of the video because you have to stop RPOs when you get down here. Everyone's going to rely on them, whether it be handing the ball off or passing, okay? And I'm going to talk about RPO defense. So, as far as stopping the run, just stand 4 yards over the guard, okay? Which is going to be number 72, so I'm going to stand about right here, and I'm going to loop around and run right through this gap to stop the run aspect of an RPO, okay? RPO defense is honestly easier than run defense. Stopping the run part of RPOs is easier than stopping traditional inside zone runs and regular run plays because these guys are setting up to block for a pass. Like they're running out here to block for a pass, and so then you're just able to come through a little bit easier than even if they were set up to block for a run. So I'm going to show you as far as the run defense. Again, boom, you can see how he just doesn't even recognize me, and we're able to come through and make that tackle, right at the line of scrimmage or a TFL. So just looping through, shooting gaps, something I've talked about many, many times on my Madden channel, and I'm going to talk even more about it here on this channel because it is a new channel, so make sure you go down below and hit that subscribe button. But we're going to, again, come right here, and this time we're going to talk about stopping the pass because it's both aspects that you have to stop, okay? Now, you're going to man up X right here. You're going to man up this receiver who's getting the bubble, and you're going to shade your coverage down, and you're going to press RB and right stick up the pass commit. Now you have the most optimal way to stop an RPO pass. You have a man up and you have a hard flat. Gives you, basically covers your butt in case something bad happens, which nothing really bad should happen here, okay? So they're going to go ahead and take this snap, and you can just see how that pass is an easy interception, okay? That man coverage defender is just going to sit in the RPO every time because he's pass committed. He's not even going to be worried about the run or looking in the backfield to stop that given run. So boom, I'm sitting right on it. Easy. And you can also see how this hard flat does a good job of shedding his block, and he probably would have been right there to make a play on that ball if the other defender wasn't, okay? So that's the pass. But now you can see how I'm still going to be here to stop the run. Although, I have 2 controllers, so I'm not going to move. But you can still just run right through the same gap that I was running through earlier. But now they can't throw the pass. So they're essentially going to have to hand the ball off and run right into your user. Okay, so that's really RPO defense. It really is that simple. When we talk about red zone defense, we're talking about running cover 2 because the field is so shrunk. And then we're also talking about stopping the run and stopping RPOs, which I just showed you the best way to do all 3 of those. All right, if you like that defensive breakdown, make sure you go down below and hit that subscribe button. We're trying to grow this brand new college football channel. I'd really appreciate your support. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.